Hey, this is Dave Csanda with this week's BuzzBite report at anglingbuzz.com. And we're going to start it off a little bit different this week because here in the Brainerd, Minnesota area where our headquarters is, we just experienced a massive storm a few days ago with a lot of 80-mile-an-hour winds over a very large area. Actually, it's been called the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane. And we lost thousands upon thousands and thousands of trees, lots of damage to houses, cabins, resorts. Our own Ron Linder is one of the many people who had his pontoon and boats and docks turned upside down and ripped to shreds. And so we're kind of in recovery mode here right now. There's been a lot of power out, but it's trickling back on. Maybe it's not going to affect the fishing that much, but if you were planning to come to this particular area, you might want to check with the Chamber of Commerce in Brainerd or Nisswa or Cuyuna for lodging opportunities, because some of our major resorts are actually going to be closed for a while, particularly in the Gull Lake area. There's been that much damage. So we're impacted, but we're still on our feet, and we're still going to head out and go fishing. Now, speaking of the fishing patterns, we've seen some things really evolve here over the last couple of weeks. You hear a common theme in the reports from the different BuzzBite reporters. They're talking about the timing, meaning the time of the day that they are going out and getting on the bite for the particular different species. And that's a result that we see in the summer of all of the food that's available to fish in our lakes. There's lots of larvae and insects, and all the little minnows and forage fish have grown up now to edible size, and there's just this wealth of food down there. Fish are literally swimming around, surrounded by food. And they get real particular at times as far as the times of day when they want to bite or the particular conditions. They don't have to be feeding all day long. They can just lounge around until the dinner bell rings, and it's really opportune for them, meaning like with walleyes and crappies, for instance. They are notorious low light feeders, and you may see a slack bite for them, particularly on clear waters during the day, but then a real fire off for 45 minutes or an hour right at sunset or first thing in the morning, when the fish have a real vision advantage over their prey, and it's very easy for them to feed effectively at this time. And the rest of the time they kind of lay low. So you work that into your planning. Fish like crappies and walleyes, maybe you target during the low light hours. Fish like a largemouth bass are much more adept to be caught during the daylight hours, although even with them, if you're fishing shallow water cover like lily pads, you want to do it morning and evening when the fish come out of the thick cover. Under the bright sun, they bury and they may be hard to get at. Now, if you're switching over to fishing docks, that's a good time during the day to fish for largemouth bass because they get in the shade underneath the docks. You go in and flip docks. And of course, fishing weed lines, that largemouth bass are pretty much feeding aggressively along weed lines, deep weed lines all day long. So if you pick your timing, your opportunities, your times and your places where the fish will be most aggressive in particular areas, you're going to catch more fish. And obviously, if you go muskie fishing, you don't want to go out on a bright, calm, sunny day. That's really, really tough conditions. The best thing is to go out on the leading edge of a storm front when the sky is building to gray and dark and the wind is coming up and the rain is coming. And that seems to be the conditions when muskies really tend to bite. So you maximize your efforts by going out then. Except, of course, if you get a storm coming in like the one that we just had, when something like that is on the horizon, you want to get off the lake, head for cover, and hunker down because nobody wants to be caught out in that. Okay, as far as the fishing report for the last week or so and what's happening in the weeks ahead, here at anglingbuzz.com, go to your different state-by-state reports and click on the information from the different BuzzBite reporters, and they should be able to give you some real good tips for catching more and bigger fish in the weeks ahead.